Hello beautiful friends, my name is Kate, this is Porter, and today we have our first loosely bound book haul. One of the things I was most excited about starting this channel for was the excuse to be able to go buy loads of books at a time and actually be able to say it's for a purpose. I need it for the YouTube channel. So that's exactly what I did today. I went to Barnes & Noble, I picked up a ton of stuff that I am super excited for. I have a whole Goodreads shelf of things that I want to read, but two of the books that I really wanted were sequels. One was the Hidden Bodies sequel to You by Caroline Kepnes, and one was the Mallory sequel to Bird Box by Josh Malerman. I actually have reviews for both of those original books. If you want to check those out, make sure you do that. Here's the haul bag. The lady at the register actually had to walk this whole thing around the whole counter to me because it wouldn't fit over the countertop. So let's dive on in. I have a 9-year-old daughter that I always take with me because she loves to read, and as expensive as she is, I never mind buying more books for her. So the first two books I got are actually for her. She's not super into scary things yet, but she did want some Halloween books. So we grabbed Creepy Carrots, which looks super cute. This one was actually on a little special that if I bought it with any other kids book, it was actually $10 off. So just a little more incentive to go ahead and pick up a second book for her. And then her second book was How I Met My Monster, which just looks super fun and festive for the spooky season. But now getting into the fun grown-up stuff. And I say grown-up stuff very lightly because half of the things I got are from the young adult section. The first book that I picked up is The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. I, like the rest of the world, absolutely love the Hunger Games trilogy. I love the movies. I love that entire universe. So I've been meaning to get my hands on this one, and I finally picked it up today. And then of course, as soon as I picked it up, I told one of my friends that I got it, and she said that she didn't love it. And she's like the biggest Hunger Games fan ever. So it was really shocking for her to say that she didn't love this book. So now I'm a little worried about it, but I'm still gonna give it a shot for myself and see how I feel about it. And I will definitely let you guys know my thoughts on it, but keep your fingers crossed for me that I actually enjoy it. Next, I grabbed The Companion by Katie Allender, I don't know, I hope I'm pronouncing it right. I've never read anything by this author. I actually saw this book on Goodreads and added it to my want to read shelf just because I thought it looked kind of spooky. On the Goodreads reviews, I didn't read any of the spoilers or anything like that, but it seemed like they were kind of hit or miss. Some people really loved it and some people did not really love it. But as always, I want to form my own opinion and hopefully I love it. The cover of it just looks super spooky to me, which is really what drew me in. It is a spoon with all these little like pins and needles in it. So I don't know, it looked weird and I like the weird stuff. I think this book is about a girl that's an orphan and then goes to live with a really like rich family, I believe, and then things start to get kind of weird for her after she moves in. I have a bad habit of not actually knowing what books are about as I grab them. I just buy them if the covers look cool, but I think that's a very brief summary of what's going to happen in this book, so hopefully it's a good one. Last from the young adult section, I got The Lost by Natasha Preston. I've read two others of Preston's books. I read The Cellar, which I really liked, like not like absolutely loved, but I really liked it. It was a good story and it kept me entertained. Then I read The Twin and I did not like it at all. At all. It was just not, I just didn't think it was good. I wanted to try another one because I did like The Cellar so much. And this one seems pretty interesting. It's about this town where kids are going missing. So two friends try to figure out what's happening, and then they end up locked in this building or trapped in this building, I think. And each room is like a different test where they have to go through and solve different tests to get out of the building, I think is the premise of this one. Again, I picked it because I wanted to read something by the author and the cover looked cool. One cool thing about Natasha Preston books that I really like is she has a really cool aesthetic that she carries all the way through all of her books. For example, these are the other ones. This is The Cellar and this is The Twin. So they all have this like kind of dark, spooky vibe with little hints of purple to it. And I just think the covers look really cool. So I'm excited to give it a go and see if I like this one as much as I liked The Cellar. So hopefully it's good. One other thing I wanted to mention about Natasha Preston books is they are super quick. I know a lot of young adult books nowadays don't feel like a young adult book at all, but the Natasha Preston books definitely do, and that's not a bad thing. They're just very good for like a very quick, short thriller that's not too in-depth or too detailed. Okay, so this one has been on my list for quite a while. It's Imaginary Friend by Stephen Chbosky. Again, I really hope I'm saying that name right. And this is another one that I didn't even read the back of the book. I've just seen it circulating for a while. The cover looks awesome. It looks super creepy and spooky, and it's just been one of those books that I saw one time and has kind of been in the back of my mind ever since. Another fun fact about this book is it's the same author that actually wrote The Perks of Being a Wallflower, which was a really, really good novel. If you guys haven't read that one, definitely check it out. It's one of those good like coming of age stories. It's also a movie that has phenomenal actors and actresses in it as well, so it's just a good story. So I'm excited for this one. It's not young adult, it is like a real grown-up book. So hopefully it's super spooky and scary and everything that I'm hoping it will be. Okay, so I actually just read the back of the book because I was like, wait, what the heck is this one about? And it looks like a single mother and her son go somewhere, they move. Oh, they flee an abusive relationship, they leave where they're living. Whenever they get wherever they're going, her son goes missing for 6 days. He comes back and he is totally fine, but he's acting a little wonky. He's got a voice in his head that only he is able to hear, and he comes back with this weird mission that he has to build a treehouse by Christmas or the world is gonna fall apart. So yeah, that was just basically straight off the back of the book. It sounds cool, you know? I dig it. A little bit of the Shining vibes in there a bit, but we'll see how it goes. Next, I grabbed Mallory, which is the sequel to Bird Box. This was one of the ones that I specifically went in for, so I was super excited to get it. It was the last copy on the shelf. So hopefully that means that it's as good as the first one was and it's just flying off the shelves because people love it so much. If you guys haven't read Bird Box, I do have a review on that, so make sure you check that out. Hopefully Mallory is a good follow-up to that story. Again, I didn't read anything on this book, but I can just assume that it's going to pick up from where Bird Box ended. Mallory is the main character in Bird Box, and the sequel is actually named after her. I'm sure it follows her further down her journey in this post-apocalyptic world that she is living in. So like I said, this is one of the books that I went in for. I also went in specifically to get Hidden Bodies, which is the Caroline Kepnes sequel to You, and they did not have Hidden Bodies, so I guess I'll have to go back. Barnes & Noble had a whole table set up with horror and thriller books, which is where I actually grabbed this one off of. This one is called The Return by Rachel Harrison. I've never read anything by this author. This is actually one that I saw while I was scrolling through Goodreads, and it looked really cool, and the cover's just really interesting to me. It's bright and pink and eye-catching, so I was like, that one. So The Return, I actually did read a little bit about what this one was about before I got it, and it sounds interesting. It's basically a woman's friend goes missing, she comes back, but she's acting all wonky. Sounds a little similar to Imaginary Friend now that I'm actually saying it out loud. Anyway, friend comes back, she's all wonky, and we have to figure out what is up with friend. Is she okay? Where did she go? What happened to her? Hopefully it's a good fun journey and we really have a good time reading this one. And last but not least, this book was also on that horror thriller table in Barnes & Noble. This one is called Hunted by Darcy Coates. There was actually like 1,000,000,005 Darcy Coates books on this table and I had never heard of her, so I was like, oh, she's obviously doing okay at writing if she has this many books that Barnes & Noble thought they should put out on a table. There was, I want to say, maybe like 6 different horror novels on this table, all by Darcy Coates. So like I said, my daughter was with me. I had her pick one out for me. She pulled one out first that was called The House Next Door, and then saw this one and changed her mind at the last minute and told me to get Hunted instead. This one appears to be about this woman that goes missing in the woods. They find her camera there and then maybe use the camera to figure out what happened. I could be making that up, I don't know. I think at some point her brother and some of his friends go looking for her and they find a bunch of spooky stuff and realize that her death was no accident. Hopefully Darcy Coates will be a good read, and then if I like her, at least I know I have a ton of other options to choose from. That's it, guys. All I have left in this bag are Barnes & Noble Cafe coupons. If you guys have read any of these books that I hauled today, leave a comment below and let me know which ones you've read. Also, give me some pointers on which one I should start with, because now I have so many, I don't know how I'm ever gonna choose. Also, if you guys are interested in grabbing any of these books that I showed you today, maybe we can all read them together. Check out the description box below and I will make sure that I post a link for each one so you guys can easily order them. Thanks for hanging out and exploring this haul with us today, guys. Porter and I will see you in the next video. Bye! Love you.